The Buffalo Bills take on the Cincinnati Bengals for the first time since falling hard in the divisional playoff round. And we'll look at some other games coming up for this Sunday's Week 9 slate of the NFL season. Along with the usual hot takes and more, this is the Buffalonian Podcast, betting on the Bills. All right, let's go. We are back with the Buffalonian Podcast. I'm Joe Callie, and as always, I'm joined by none other than Dom Loss. And we've got some intense music here to start it off. It's the big game coming up, Sunday Night Football again. We got those 1 o'clock lights. Yeah, Under the Lights. Yeah, should be playing some All the Lights by Kanye, but don't have rights to that, unfortunately. But listen, as in the intro. This is the first time these two teams are matching up since the Bills absolutely ate the pavement in the divisional playoff round last year. So stakes are high. Also, the first return to Cincinnati since DeMar Hamlin's incident last year. So, I mean, there's a lot going on with this game. The Bills are looking like they're bouncing back to that team we saw. We saw a little more explosive offense early. The Bengals look like they're bouncing back to the team they were last season, though. So, I mean, both teams are looking like they're bouncing back, and they're going to meet at the head of it right in Cincinnati. And geez, this is going to be a good one, I think, but it's going to be a nail biter. That's for sure. What do you think?
Well, this game has high playoff ramifications. I think if the Bills win, they get in the high 80s. I think it's 88%. They make the playoffs. If they lose, it's 55%. I think it's a little similar to the Bengals are in a similar spot, but I think there's like if they win, it's like 70. If they lose, it's like 40. I want to say so. They
still have a shot.
So both teams. I mean, what if they just tie? They just say, we're not gonna play.
They give the handshake at halftime. They're like, all right, we're gonna go visit the other team's locker room and let's orchestrate a tie here.
Yeah, but no, I mean it's the game. I think a month ago we didn't know, or even. A couple weeks ago after the Bills lost the Pats that we didn't know that this game would have the hype. But it has the hype. Both teams coming off good performances. Both teams, obviously, as I just mentioned with the playoffs, percentages have a lot to play for. And it seems that the two-star quarterbacks are good to go. Obviously, Josh with the shoulder, we'll see. But Joe Burrow looks healthy with the calf. I mean, it's two of the best quarterbacks in the league, two of the best teams in the league. I believe so. For the amount of bad Sunday night games poor primetime games we've gotten a little bit in the stretch, it's nice to get a real legit top 5 quarterback matchup, and I would at least say top 10 team matchup.
Yeah, I mean, just thinking that we're already in Week 9 is absolutely insane. First of all, we're over halfway through, and then you're right. I mean. It's like last season we saw Russell Wilson every week in primetime, and we're like, why are we watching this? Why is he the face of primetime football? We're seeing lackluster games, including that Bills-Giants game. Like, that's very much included in there, where it's just like low scoring, just, not a lot of crazy stuff going on. And I'm excited for this game. I'm also nervous for it. I haven't been nervous for a game since that Week 1 Jets game when I did not have a good feeling going into it, right? The other games we've dropped, I thought we could win them. We should have won them. Did not happen. Anyway, we're not even dwelling on that. This game is going to come down to, I think, with the two offenses, the Bills defense being injured, the Bengals defense being, like we talked about, good but not elite, right? They're a great defense, but they're not an elite defense, right?
They've
It's
come on the last couple of weeks, though.
the last couple weeks, right? But the Bills adding some pieces, which we'll get to because we didn't get to talk about that on Tuesday. Um, I think this is going to be one of those where it's going to be scoring back and forth, and whoever fails to score on a drive is going to be in some dire trouble. Like that. That's kind of my outlook on this right now. I don't know. I have that feeling that Burrow's going to cook because he's had a rough start to a season with that, dealing with that injury, and he's starting to look like himself again. And then we've got Allen using his legs again more often, like he did last week, and creating more explosive plays. And I think this is going to be, I mean, talk about an old Western shootout. I think that's what we're going to see here, but high scoring.
Yeah, I think they're going to need a high-scoring game to win. I think this is
Mm-hmm.
a bad matchup for the Bills. I just think the Bengals, on paper, match up really well with the Bills, and the Bills don't match up
Yeah.
very well with Cincinnati. I mean, just hyper-athletic wide receivers never always kill the Bills. It's like whenever A.J. Brown played with the Titans, he'd always
Mm-hmm.
kill the Bills. It's not a great matchup for the Bills defense because of how explosive Cincinnati is and how they could also run the ball, and especially if Joe now being healthy. And offensive versus defense, it's an all right matchup, but the Bengals are going to force them to do something like run the ball, and that's not always what the Bills want to do. And the Bengals did a really good job in the playoff game last year of holding Diggs to under 40 yards and kind of make everyone else kind of beat you. So it's not a great matchup from that perspective of Lou Amarillo, took Ken Dorsey and Josh Allen's lunch money last year. And I don't, the Bills, this is not the best matchup for the Bills defense, but it's a challenge for sure. And hopefully the new additions play. I liked both. Well, I guess all three moves because again, we kind of talked a little bit about Leonard Fournette, but
Yeah.
Paul Joseph getting signed is a nice move. I think
Mm-hmm.
he's obviously not going to give you a lot pass rushing, but I don't think they need him to be a good pass rusher. I think that if he gets, that 340-pound big belly in the middle and doesn't give up an inch, keeps Terrell Bernard clean, and yeah. It's not Daquan Jones because Daquan Jones can also rush the passer from the one tech and do that. It's not him, but maybe he can do the job of the one tech of keeping those linebackers, Dotson and Bernard clean and open up everything else for the defensive line. We'll see if he has any juice left. He wasn't bad when he did a similar situation signing midseason with the Eagles. So hopefully he has enough juice for what is it, 9-game run and plus playoffs. So
Yeah. Yeah. Listen, you make a good point there. I mean, yeah, hopefully he has enough juice. I mean, talking about the free agents, I'm happy in the trade. I'm happy. I am genuinely. Leonard Fournette was the question mark, and then he shows up in short shorts up past the middle of his thigh, and he's like, "It's cold as a penguin's ass out here in Buffalo." And I'm like, "What did you expect? This is only November, pal." I'm
this
like,
ain't
just
Louisiana, my boy.
yeah, just wait till you hit January when you're playing in the playoffs, possibly at a home playoff game, and it's negative. What was it? It was like negative 20 against the Patriots, wasn't it? Like something like that with wind chill.
Something like that. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah, I mean,
listen.
I'm happy with it though. Overall, I think they add
Well,
depth to what we need.
I think we predicted it pretty well in the pod on Tuesday. With that, they were probably felt at least a linebacker situation that they felt like they at least found something the last game of Poyer playing a little bit more box linebacker on third downs and just kind of rolling with either Dorian or it looks like it's Dobson's role of just like being that first and second down linebacker.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of more like if you're going to get run on situation. And then, yeah, I mean, adding a DT, we didn't know if I think everyone thought it was going to be Sue, Leval Joseph, but Leval
Yeah,
Joseph probably fits the role better, what they were looking for of more of a run 1T because I think it does a lot from the situation of Ed's the 3 tech. Jordan Phillips can stop playing like that 1 tech and just go fully being a 3 tech, even though how big he is, you would think he'd be a 1 tech. And kind of has Puna Ford and Tim Settle maybe as a little bit more of a backup role. So I think that's good depth there. And then the corner was a situation where obviously you have Kair going on IR. So I like that they
yeah.
kept Kair just because it was like, it just didn't seem right to me that they would just punt on him.
No, right away
Um,
like that. Yeah, I
it
mean,
just didn't feel like it was a good idea to punt on him. No one was offering him anything. I don't know. Some person was like, oh, they were getting third round picks. No, they weren't. If they got a third round pick offer, they probably would have took it. Just from a depth perspective, now having Dane Jackson as your third outside corner instead of Josh Norman is an upgrade. And then having Rasul Douglas as your starting corner over Dane Jackson is an upgrade too. So, and to give up, I think a lot of people looked at the third round pick and were like, "Oh, that's a lot to give up." But really, if you add the fifth round pick they got back, it's really a fourth round value. They had extra picks. They had an extra third round pick because of the Tremaine compensation, the comp pick. So at the end of the day, it's not a lot to give up for a guy that's under contract for next season. So they could, and it's a non-guaranteed contract as well for next season. So they could just outright cut him and not lose a single thing on dead cap if he struggles. But if he does well, you'll probably figure out a way to maybe extend him. He's only 28. It's kind of a situation where you help yourself in the short term, but you also hedge your bet against Trey White's Achilles recovery with having a guy that it's not like they just picked up like Levi Wallace or some like middle, like Russell Douglas is a pretty good cornerback. Like he fits the scheme. Like he's a pretty good corner. Obviously it's not Jalen Johnson, but that price was on like a first round pick
Yeah.
plus a big contract. But this is a legit corner that they added. And he's a high end cornerback too, and he's a low end cornerback 1. And they're probably gonna, but with Benford, I like it. We'll see if he
Yeah.
plays though. Either of
Well,
them play, I
yeah.
should say.
Do you think he will?
Yeah, because they put. I mean, I guess them putting Elam on IR kind of.
Yeah, forces it a little
I
bit.
guess not. I don't know if forces, but like, why not? Even if he's out there and he's getting like, even if he's just rotating in, I think he can make an impact. It's not like he's going from a scheme that was like way out of like the Packers run similar stuff to the McDermott scheme, so I think he could fit in just fine as the zone corner. I think he could fit in just fine. And if Levi Joseph has been, in shape, like, and he's ready to go, I think he'll be activated too. So yeah, I think they could. I think they both. I mean, they didn't get ruled out today. Only AJ Klein and Balin Spector did. So
Yeah.
no, I think there's an opportunity for both of them to play. Sure.
No, I really like the cornerbacks now. I do. Like, because like you said, you added a competent, in shape, and very good cornerback to your roster, right? Like you're not just throwing the Leonard Fournette of quarterbacks. Even though I will say, playoff Lenny looks to be in pretty good shape. I was watching the training videos out there. He's actually moving. So my Call of Duty comments, I do not stand by anymore. He's
You
clearly been
announced them.
training. I renounce them, even though, like maybe we could get him on a stream sometime and play some COD with him. We'll see. Well, I'll
Power of
spam
Christ.
I'll spam DM him on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it, and see what happens. But no, I think this was before the deadline here. That was a great trade to just sneak in there. And was that after we did the pod? That happened.
Yeah.
That broke after, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So we only had the fake news break on the pod. But no, it was just like I was very content with that. Made me feel better about the Leonard Fournette thing. And then the more I've seen out of all these guys, I mean, the first day you see him chatting with McDermott, right? Like just kind of he's around the team. Yeah, not necessarily practicing fully yet, because on the injury report it said just got here, as to why he did not practice, which I thought was fantastic. But I could see him playing now, especially like you said, with Kyer on injured reserve, and hopefully Joseph, he's continued training, and he was on the NFC champions last year. It'd only be fitting for him to come in and be the AFC champion this year, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's a situation where these aren't small swings. I mean, they're legit improvements. Are they equal to the players they lost? Absolutely not. Like, again, Levi Joseph does not equal Daquan Jones, but it's a situation where Levi Joseph is a good run stuffer, and if he could do that here in Buffalo, it opens everyone else to play like their more normal role. He's only going to be there on early downs. Like, I think that's the thing that to look at is give me 15 to 20 snaps every week of first and second downs on running downs and just be productive in those snaps. That's all you need from Levi Joseph.
Yeah.
And then you'll figure out the linebacking situation of Poyer and Rapp. I mean, you have depth in safety, so it makes sense to keep doing that. Cornerback wise, like having Dane Jackson as your third outside corner is really good depth. Rasul Douglas is a legit starting cornerback. It's not like they just went out and got like Levi Wallace, who's kind of mediocre. Like, this guy's a good player. This is a legit swing. Levi Joseph is a good. I mean, they could have like just rolled with Eli Akanu, who they got from the practice squad again. Like, they could have just rolled back with him, rolled with Ty Johnson, and rolled with Josh Norman. Like, those would have been the swings that. So Bean was aggressive. And yes, did he not part of a first round pick? But that's silly value asset. And then they would have to pay Jalen Johnson. Like there just wasn't trades available. Yeah, obviously he called everyone, and I hope this puts the narrative to bed that he's not aggressive. And yes, is there any of them needle movers? I would say Joseph is an upgrade. Leonard Fournette is an upgrade on Ty Johnson. Joseph's an upgrade on whatever you're getting from the one tech position, and allows Poona Ford to maybe Poona Ford to kind of split snaps throughout the game. I don't think needle mover is a great word, but I would say Douglas kind of is. I think he fits that role because he's a legit corner, and he then allows Dane Jackson to be, a third corner. He allows Kyrie Elam to get healthy, so I think it does a lot of stuff for the rest of the team, not just that starting corner position.
Right. Yeah. No, I agree. I think we have a lot to look forward to with these free agents in the trade. I think they're going to help the Bills get to the point they need to be, especially with an injured defense. And
they also did the right move of adding defense, not offense. I think their passing game. I think it was smart for them to buy into what they saw against Tampa Bay, and even if you want to say New England because of how they were able, what Shakir and Kincaid doing, I think those guys really allowed them to be like, all right, we could go full on defense and not have to. Yes, they probably looked around for offense to see if it made sense, but I think they realized that cornerback and adding another one big DT was a bigger needs than adding another receiver. I know they added Leonard Fournette, but maybe even adding a better like Derrick Henry. So I think they did a good job. I'm proud of my Bills.
Yeah, me as well. So now I think the time has come around
to talking a little bit more about this game.
Let's talk a little bit more about this game and maybe throw some predictions out there. I already said I think it's going to be a shootout through and through. It's literally, the Bengals have been turning it on with Burrow's injury he's coming back and really playing well from that calf injury he was suffering from throughout the preseason and the first few weeks of the season. And then the Bills, Allen, his shoulder injury, he didn't practice. Did he practice yesterday? I only saw Wednesday's report.
Yeah, he was full yesterday.
Oh, okay. All right. So again, like I thought, that's nothing to worry about. They just gave him extended rest on the mini bye. It's all right. It's going to come down to, can this Bills defense stop, like you said, their crazy wide receiver talent and, like top wide receivers? Jamar Chase, can you slow him down? Like Joe Mixon, I know you can probably stop the run at the line of scrimmage, right? You've been very good at that. Even without Matt Milano, you've been good at stopping the run. Saquon Barkley did nothing. I know he was coming back from an injury, but he did nothing against us, and that's one of the best running backs in the NFL. And it's just, you've got your edge rushers still. I think you're still going to be able to get pressure on Burrow, and that's going to be a big thing. You need to get pressure on him. But you see him last week, how you know he's fully healthy, shrugging pressure off of his shoulders and then rolling out and throwing a dimer right to Jamar Chase. And it's just like, you got to prevent that. You got to get to the quarterback, take the quarterback down, or drop back and stop the pass from being completed. And I guess that's the fundamentals of defense. I just sounded really redundant saying that, but like, you gotta get the quarterback down or just drop back and stop the pass from being completed. And whether that's an interception or a bat down, you're just going to need your corners and your safeties to do what they need to do. And Poyer's been doing really well, I think, throughout the, after the first few games. We said he was looking slow, a little older. He's kind of back to JP, all pro Poe, and Micah Hyde's out there with him. So I have trust back there, and it's going to be stopping this Bengals offense. That's going to be the key, because the Bills offense can cook. The Bills defense needs to cook this weekend, though.
Yeah, I think it comes down to that you could take a lot from their last game against San Francisco a little bit. Kittle goes for 9 for 149. I know some of that may have been in garbage time, but he was having a good game before that. So I think, the Bengals have a lot of very young safeties, 2 young safeties, Dax Hill and Jordan Battle, because they let Jesse Bates and Von Bell go in free agency. So I think there's opportunities maybe for a deep shot in the game, but also for Dalton Kincaid to eat and continue his hot trend. I think you saw Brandon Ayuk go for over 100 yards. So I think there's opportunities for Stephon Diggs, for Gabe Davis against these corners. Mike Hilton's a good slot corner, and I think Cam Taylor-Britt's an underrated outside corner, but the number 2 cornerback role's kind of never been solved. Obviously, they had Eli Apple in that role last year.
What a scumbag. That is one I'm going to let rip on scumbag, but continue.
I think there's opportunities maybe for these receivers to make plays against the outside corner, and also I think Kincaid could have a big game. Also, I think James Cook could have a big game, and Josh Allen running, because Purdy ran for 57 yards last week. I think obviously Purdy's a little different from Allen, so they'll probably do a little bit better job of being more disciplined in their rush. But I think there's opportunities for Allen to get out of the pocket and make some plays if his shoulder allows him. And McCaffrey had a pretty solid day, 12-54 and a touchdown on the ground, and had 6 for 64 and a touchdown through the air. So I think there may be some opportunities for the backs out of the backfield to make some plays, maybe in a screen game or just kind of outside in space. So
yeah,
I
think that's playoff Lenny play. He's been in pads practicing.
They had to trust him with the playbook. That's why he's on the practice squad. So I guess we'll see if he's ready for Sunday 8:20. But no, I think there's plays to be made for this Bills offense, especially against this Bengals defense, even though I think the Bengals defense has been playing a lot better. And then just defensively, it's going to come down to they have to pick their poison. Are they just going to do all they can to limit Chase Higgins and just be like, Joe Mixon might just run ham on us, which may happen. He's definitely capable of doing that. Ran for 5.4 yards and a touchdown against that Niners front last week, and Joe looked pretty good running too, so you got to keep him in the pocket. I don't know if it's just about getting pressure to Burrow, but it's also don't let him, you got to kind of do what you do with Mahomes and be disciplined on your rushes, and don't let him get out and start being Houdini in there and make extra. That's where they get a lot of their big plays. So I think I hope Douglas plays because I think he'll help the secondary, but it's picking their poison. Are they going to commit to stopping Joe Mixon, or are they going to commit to stopping this passing attack? And you can't do both. It's impossible to do both. You're just going to have to deliver the results of one when you pick the other one. And that's the problem with kind of this Bills defense is that they just can't play both. It's not like they could. It's not like they have Daquan and Matt Milano or Trey White, where it's like, all right, we can leave Trey on an island, or we could just trust Daquan up front to win up front and at least slow down the running game. It's kind of you had to commit to one or the other. But it also comes down to this. The Bills have not gotten an interception since week 4 against Miami. Didn't get one against Trevor Lawrence. Didn't get one against Tyrod, Mac Jones. Last week against Baker. They had opportunities.
They were close on a couple.
I mean, there's going to be opportunities for turnovers. I mean, there's bound to. I mean, I feel like every week the Bills have had multiple dropped interceptions. Terrell Bernard had a couple. Taron Johnson, Jordan Poyer last week. They got to convert on those. It's really truly as simple as that. You got to be able to catch the football if it comes your way defensively, because they're gonna need to win the turnover battle to win this game, from my point of view. Because I think the Cincinnati defense is currently better than the Bills defense. So I think the Cincinnati defense naturally will be able to get more stops on the Bills offense, and vice versa, the Bills defense on Cincinnati's offense. And so for them to win the game, they're going to have to force 2 to 3 turnovers, really, to win on the road against a tough opponent. So,
well, that's the toughest thing too. You don't have the Mafia. I mean, Mafia travels, right? But you don't have the home field advantage at all of that loud stadium. In fact, it's going to be the complete opposite, because Cincinnati likes to get loud too. So welcome to the jungle. You're going to have to deal with it. And that makes it, people say scoff at home field advantage. It does make a difference when you're getting cheered for and you can quiet down the crowd when you're trying to figure out a play versus when they're being obnoxiously loud towards you while you're trying to figure out what's going on. It can play into making a difference there. So you're in behind enemy lines right here. So it'll be interesting.
Yeah, but I guess it's time for MVP and game pick.
Yes, I would say so. MVP. I think I'm going to take a softball on this one. You ready? It's Allen. I think he cooks this game. I think he proves the haters wrong. He rushes for about 100 yards and also throws for about 250, 300. I think he's going to be the difference maker in the game. Kincaid is going to be big in that, and so is Davis and Diggs. We're going to see another game like last week's with the career high of spreading the ball around to different receivers. We're going to see that again. I mean, I even had it in my mind to mention Khalil Shakir as my MVP, because what if he pops again like last week? I don't know. But I think Allen will be at the center of it, and he'll be at the center of the explosiveness. And I think I know it's a softball. You can pick Josh Allen any week because he puts the Superman cape on. But
literally touches the ball every offensive play.
Yeah. but I got to. I think he's going to be the difference maker in this game, and his athleticism.
Not a bad one, but I'm gonna go with the man, the myth, the legend. Let James cook.
There we go.
I think Cincinnati is going to do what the Bills can't do, and they're going to pick their poison, and they're going to pick to stop the passing attack of the Bills and make them run the ball. And they have the dudes of DJ Reader. They still have the guys up front where they can do that and still be effective against the run. So I think that's going to be a big time opportunity for James Cook. And as I said, catching out of the backfield, I wouldn't be surprised if James Cook gets on the board via a receiving touchdown. So I think James Cook goes over 125 total yards and scores a touchdown.
I like it. What's your score prediction?
I think Allen's going to have a better day than Burrow, because I think the Bills will get a couple turnovers. But as the famous phrase song said, try so hard, came so far. In the end, doesn't even matter. No, I'm just kidding. I was looking for. Gotcha.
I was gonna say, yeah. It was like
that's just very invented. But I have the Bengals winning on the road at home, 31-27.
Okay, I knew you were probably gonna lean that way because I think mention.
Listen. We have to. First off, we had to get over the rumors that we're complete homers. Like, we're realists. You know what I mean? I think we've been pretty. I don't think I picked against the Bills all year so far.
No, you did once last year too. You did it with the Chiefs game, and then
they won that game. So
right. No, you would love to be proven wrong. That's where you're.
Do I believe the Bills can win? Do I believe the Bills can win this game? Absolutely. I also think I don't think their new guys are 100% on right now. Like, I don't think those additions are going to take place until a week from now or later in the season. And Cincinnati is peaking. Like, Cincinnati is playing really like their best football of the season, and the Bills are coming off of a good performance.
But not their best football of the season.
I had to see it against a great opponent. And listen, man, can they do it? Yes. I mean, they have a chance, right? This is like a 40. It's like a 50-50 kind of game. But I'm gonna go with.
Well, the line shows that. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the hotter team at the moment.
Okay. No, listen. I 100% respect your pick. I do. I'm not going to jam on you not picking the Bills or anything like that, because it is a realistic take. The Bills they're coming off a good performance against a somewhat decent team. All right. They're not the Bengals. They're not the Chiefs. The Bucs are not, unfortunately. The Bills are not playing their best football of the season. They stopped doing that for whatever reason after the Miami game. That was that for whatever reason. But they seem to have been, they now, after last week, know what to do, I think, to surprise teams. And I think that gives them a little bit of an edge here, like coming out in tempo, right, to start the game last week. No huddle right out of the gate, just aggressive. They did not do that. I'm using last year's sample size, right? So looking at the 5 minutes or 10 minutes before the Damar Hamlin thing happened last year, right? The Bengals came out and just shoved it down the Bills' throats, right? They kicked off. They elected to receive after winning the coin toss.
Can we also be honest? Can we be honest?
What? The Bills would have lost that game. 100%.
No, they were losing. I don't think they were going to be able to stop Cincinnati.
No, they were getting smacked around, and it's you have to sit here and be real about that. The Bills on their drive looked stale, looked old. Cincinnati set the tone early by even winning the coin toss, just electing to receive and storming down the field for a touchdown. Like, you knew right there. I'm like, okay, we're done. Like, I knew that wasn't happening, right?
I don't know about that, but yeah.
Well, like, they set the tone. They were like, you're in our house. We're taking you out back. You know what I mean? Like that's what they said. So
this woodshed, go behind it. We'll take.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So listen, I think the Bills kind of got a taste of doing that last week. Not that they won the coin toss and took it or whatever. I don't know. I don't even remember what happened with that coin toss, but they came out in tempo, put the ball down the field right away. Maybe let's not go to the shotgun on the 1 yard line though and try to run up the middle. Let's push our 6'5" quarterback up the middle. The tush push, that would work. So we need to see less boneheaded calls like that, in my opinion, and running a bootleg after the injury, whatever, out of the blue tent. Can't see any of that crap. I think the Bills do come out on top in this game because it is a statement for the Bills. I think there's a lot riding on it. The team knows, but the Bengals also have a lot riding on it. So like the line says, the Bengals are only 2-point favorites. It's gone down throughout the week. They were 3.5, I want to say, to start the week when I first remember looking. and now they're only 2. So they want you to take the Bills, I think, because they're baiting you, which I think is also a trap. It could go either way. I'm basically uprooting everything I'm saying by saying that. But I think the Bills take the game by 3 points. It's a back and forth shootout, like I said, and it's just going to be a wild game to watch. If you're a football fan, you're going to love it. I think it's going to be a good time. But give me the Bills. I think 24-21 over the Bengals. I think that's all it gets to. I think it's going to be tough.
We'll see.
We'll see. Listen. This is again haven't been nervous about a game like this since week 1 against the Jets. I just knew that was bad news. Joe? I'm not nervous. I just have that feeling like, okay, this is going to be a rough and tumble. Like, you ever seen Squid Game?
Yeah.
Like the end of that movie or the series, like where they're fighting in the, you know what I mean? Just in the mud. Like it's going to be one of those games, like it's going to be Rocky 5 out in the streets, just brawling, the worst Rocky movie, like that's what we're dealing with here.
Yeah. Make sure you have your heart pills, take your heart pills in the morning.
Yeah. Maybe some baby aspirin to thin out your blood. So you don't, like some stuff like that. But I think that's going to do it for our Bills Bengals preview and game picks. We'll talk Tuesday. We'll either have a really good pod on Tuesday or the Bills have a 40% chance to make the playoffs pod on Tuesday. So, or what is it drop down to for the Bills? I know the Bengals are like 40. What was the Bills?
55. They lose.
Oh, okay. So we're higher. Oh, never mind. All right. So we're fine. We're over 50% still. Or it's either they have a 70% chance or a 50% chance. So we'll see what happens.
Right.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
The other picks.
Yes. Now we have our game slate of the week here. In our first game, AFC East, AFC matchup, technically. The Dolphins are taking on the Chiefs in Germany, and the Chiefs are 2-point favorites. So another close game that the line isn't exactly, it favors the Chiefs. Are the Chiefs technically the home team? Do we know that?
The designated home team.
The designated home team. Okay. So Chiefs are 2-point favorites. Listen, Chiefs coming off a horrible game. Mahomes had the sniffles. He had the flu last week. Okay. He was under the weather. They need a statement win after that, and they're gonna put up points on the Dolphins. I'm telling you that right now. I think Miami gets stomped here, and the Chiefs though they didn't leave until last night. Am I right on that?
Yes, sir, baby.
Yeah. So they took the Bills approach. The Dolphins were there all week, so this could be another trap game like that Jacksonville game right there, the jet lag effect. But give me the Chiefs. I'm gonna take them by 14 points. I'm gonna take them by 2 touchdowns. It's gonna be. Put a name on it. 42-21 Chiefs. I think it's going to be around the same as the Bills Dolphins game.
That's 21 points.
21 points. I'm at 2 scores. Sorry.
That's still
3 scores.
That's
3 scores. 3 scores. Sorry. I'm all over the place. 21 points. Yeah, math.
Is hard.
That's why I don't do math in public. You know, Dolphins, you can never be wrong if you don't do it in public.
The Dolphins are going to make a statement.
You think?
Listen, they've played 2 legit really good teams. They have lost to both those teams. Right, Eagles and Bills. I like that they went earlier in the week. I think that matters. I'm sorry. I just think that matters. I think the Chiefs look really lethargic against the Broncos. And do I think they'll play better offensively? Sure. And I think they have a good defense. But I don't know. I just think Miami kind of needs a statement win. And they need this win more than the Chiefs. Because the Chiefs know who they are. Right? They're the defending Super Bowl champs. Been to 3 Super Bowls, been to 5 AFC Championship games in the last 5 years. I want to say. I think it's 5.
Yeah.
5 pretty sure. So no, and the Dolphins have lost the 2 teams. If the Dolphins lose this game, the narrative will be that the Dolphins can't beat the lead of the lead. And I think the Dolphins get it done. I think Tyreek goes off and goes for 250. I just do. I think
it would be cool to see that.
I think they win 41-37.
Can start the day early, watch some football in Germany. Also, fun fact, it's now well over 400 days since the Dolphins have beaten a team with a winning record.
I'm saying, they're going to make a statement.
You think? Mm-hmm. I think it goes well over 420. I think we move on through the season without them. But we'll see. We'll see. Any given Sunday, and especially overseas, you never know what can happen. So next game on the list, if I would keep my list open, that would help so I don't have to open it up every time. The Cowboys are taking on the Eagles. The Eagles are 3-point favorites. And a big NFC East matchup here. Listen, Cowboys defense is so up and down. Dak Prescott's so up and down. I don't know what to think. But then CeeDee Lamb, or not, CeeDee Lamb is like 44 points last week.
Let CD cook. This team is going. I just think that the Dallas, same boat as the Dolphins. They need a statement win more than the Eagles do.
They got to prove themselves as a contender. That's what they have to do.
That's going to motivate them. They got smacked around by the Niners. I don't think it happens again. I think they win 23-20. I think Dak outplays Jalen Hurts and gets the job done.
Okay, I like it. I think I'm going to take the upset with the Cowboys here. I think, truthfully, Jalen Hurts throws a couple picks this game, and they take advantage of it. CeeDee Lamb has another 44-point fantasy day. Dak has a big day. Like you said, they make a statement, prove themselves as a Super Bowl contender in the NFC. With how little competitiveness there has been over the years, it's interesting to see all this stuff starting to happen. So give me the Cowboys by one score, and we'll do it 21-14 for the Eagles.
You love that score line.
Math was right on that one. Yeah, I know. I love it. One touchdown. Come on. +7. And an extra point. Alrighty, next game. The Seattle Seahawks. It's the bird fight in the air. Seattle Seahawks are taking on the Baltimore Ravens. Ravens are 6-point favorites. Listen, Gino keeps the receipts, and I think he's looking at this 6-point favorite for the Ravens like, what's going on here? And I think this is going to be a closer game than the lines are making it seem. Okay, the Ravens have been a great team this year, right? Lamar Jackson has played lights out a lot of the time. I just think Gino's got the receipts saying you wrote me off, and like D-Hop even alluded to it. He said I kept the receipts like Gino. They wrote me off like Gino. Gino's ready to cook this weekend in Seattle, and Pete Carroll's got something up his sleeve for the Ravens. So give me the Seattle Seahawks 6-point underdog here in this game.
Yeah, I got the Ravens 37-20. I think this is going to be a team again. I think the Seahawks are kind of fraudulent. I'm going to say it straight up. I think they're kind of I think they are a playoff team. I think they're a good team. I don't think they're 5-2 good. I mean, they lost to the Bengals when the Bengals gave them all those chances to win.
Yeah, that was a bad Bengals team. They
should have lost last week at home to PJ Walker if they don't throw the ball on 3rd and 3 for whatever reason instead of running the ball. So, no, I think the Ravens. I mean, the Ravens slapped around the Lions. The Lions came into the Ravens' house and the Ravens slapped them around. You don't think they're going to be able to slap around the Seahawk team?
I think they're going to be surprised. I think they're coming in too hot. No. Yeah, you don't think they're coming in too hot, and then the Seahawks are going to just poop all over them?
I really think the Ravens are going to grab the Seahawks by the head and then make them drink dog water.
Oh, okay. All right. Jeez. Okay. Yikes. All right. Moving on. The Commanders are taking on the Patriots, and the Patriots are 3-point favorites. Why do I not like that? I mean,
I don't like either team. But no. I think you got to go with the Pats because the Commanders sold. Like, they sold, like, their two best defensive linemen. Well, I should say their two best defensive linemen, but they're
they're young rushers. Defensive edge rushers. Like, what are we doing? Like, that was like, when we talked about that game, previewed that game earlier in the season, that was the X factor for Washington. We were like, okay, this makes their defense legit because they have these guys. And then they get rid of them. Like, what are we doing?
And Sam Howell versus Bill Belichick.
Yeah.
Young quarterback versus Bill Belichick. I mean, the
Patriots defense has kind of been awake the past few weeks. So
you have to take the Pats. You have to take the Pats. I think it's going to be like a 20-10 game. I mean, it's going to be like a boring game, but I just think the Pats are also at home. So, yeah, give me the New England Patriots.
Yeah, Patriots 21-10. I'll stick with 21. I like the even scores. I don't like to go the goofy numbers. All right.
Hey, can you do something for me?
Oh my God. Yeah, Drake actually featured the Walden Galleria around here in a recent track. Did you see that?
I'm eating some Halloween candy during the pod and my sugar intake.
What do you got? What are you eating?
I ate a Reese's. I don't know what I did with the wrapper, but I'm eating some Kit Kats now.
Reese's Pumpkins are elite.
I'm disappointed though in my household that we didn't get Twix. Apparently they were all out.
Yeah, that's rough. I feel like I would always look forward to the Twix. I mean,
Twix is S tier. Twix is the best candy.
The Reese Pumpkins are better than the normal Reese Cups. You heard it here first.
I've had even like the Easter eggs, like the
eggs, there's more peanut butter in them, and it's less chocolate. Yeah,
or the trees. You know what's weird though? Reese's peanut butter though on its own is really not that good.
No, it's a little. It's very chalky. It's
you know
grainy.
Like it's not the chocolate more than you think. But like if you get too much chocolate, it's like Yeah.
Well, when it's in the cups, it's all jagged on the outside too. Like I don't like that. Like I like the smoothness of.
You like the soft stuff on your tongue?
I guess I don't know. I wouldn't say that. You're off the rails today with the sugar high, but I
I know.
don't know.
I agree with you. It's a little like I don't understand. I guess this might be a hot take. I don't understand the obsession with freezing Reese's. Like I think
Oh,
that's
I do all
weird.
the time. I love it.
Really?
I
Like
put them on
hard?
s'mores too.
I
Yeah.
like them when they're a little soft and just chewy.
No, I put them. I put them in the freezer. I'll eat them soft, but like when they're in the freezer, they melt in your mouth a little bit more. You know what I mean? Like it
I guess that makes sense.
stays solid a little longer, and it's cold, and then it heats up.
Yeah,
Whatever.
that makes sense.
And
I
then
just
I put them on s'mores. I don't know if you heard me say that, but I put them on s'mores, and it's elite.
no, that's probably not a bad idea.
Peanut butter chocolate on a s'more is like fantastic. Because then with the marshmallows, like a
Oh,
peanut butter
or
fluff.
Reese's? Are you talking about?
No, Reese's, like a Reese's cup. I
Oh,
put
okay.
that on
I thought you
s'more.
meant like you just put peanut butter on, which
No,
makes
no,
no
no, no,
sense.
no, 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 no.
So you
No.
you don't go hijacking and just put like Jif peanut butter and Hershey's chocolate and see if that's better than a normal Reese?
It's not the same. Listen, Jif peanut butter with chocolate is good, but at the same time, that you like you alluded to, the Reese's cup, the peanut butter in there works with the chocolate, but not by
Yeah, it's
itself.
weird like that.
You know what I mean? So it's like anyway, we got to get into the last game.
My last take about candy is that dark chocolate is absolutely disgusting. Don't know why
Agreed.
Like it's so bitter. It's like I'm sorry. Like I don't know who like if you get a dark chocolate Reese or a milk chocolate Reese, like
what about white chocolate?
White chocolate's good. You know what's bad? Orange chocolate.
I love
oh
orange
my
chocolate.
God. What?
I love orange chocolate.
Dude, orange chocolate is so gross.
No, I love it.
Oh my God.
I love it. It's got the hint of tang from the citrus in there. It's beautiful.
Yeah. Oh my.
I love it.
Oh my God.
Anyway, talk about
I'd rather eat a whole bar of freaking dark chocolate than a nibble. You know what's good though? Sponge candy. The last thing.
Orange chocolate sponge candy is elite. That's all I'm going to say.
Let's just go on with this last
All
game.
right. Well, speaking of a little bit of tang and a little bit of charge, we have the Chargers taking on the Jets. Chargers are 3-point favorites. Chargers win this game. I'm telling you right now. They need a win.
I agree.
I believe in the Chargers. They're favorites for a reason here. Give me the Chargers. And the Jets, yeah, they have a good defense. Zach Wilson's prone to mistake making. And listen, so is Herbert and the Chargers Charger. Like, don't get me wrong. We could see a Josh McDaniels happen when Brandon Staley just fails the season. But
as long as Herbert doesn't turn the ball over, who I trust as a quarterback not to do that, they're going to be fine. I mean, listen, the Jets win through defense and they play teams that can't move the ball, and the Chargers have a good offense and can move the ball. They
can move the ball wherever. Yeah.
Now they do have a good defense? No, but I mean, it's Zach Wilson. I'm not expecting him to put 35 on them. So I think it'll be a close game, 24-20. But yeah, give me Herbert, man. Our man. Yeah. Is Herbert your second favorite quarterback after Allen?
It has to be because truthfully, I mean, second AFC, I should say, team is the Chargers. I family ties to that. My brother's a big Chargers fan, so I gotta root.
I forgot Jake is a big Herbert fan.
You remember a couple years ago during that Raiders almost tie, we called you. We were freaking out watching it together, and it was wild. But no, second
years in the background.
If you had an NFC team you had to pick, all right. Mine would be the Detroit Lions. They haven't won anything. They're like the Bills or the blue collar team.
I feel like the Lions are just a trendy pick. Like I think everyone picks them. I mean, everyone likes them, which is cool, but like they also just haven't won anything.
Yeah, it's real. Similar to the Bills. Like you know what I mean? They're the everyman.
That's true.
That's
true. I know the Bills won anything, so who might have trashed the Lions? So
yeah, right. Yeah.
I mean, my team used to be the Saints because I just like Drew Brees when he was there.
Yeah.
Good. I also liked them because their defense was awful, so they would get in a lot of shootouts. So it was very.
Oh, you didn't like Bountygate? You didn't like when they were like basically killing people to get them off the field?
Dude, I was like 7. Okay, jeez, hop off me with that. I don't know if I have. I don't really. I guess I'll hop on with the Lions. I mean, like, there's just not a team in the NFC that I'm like. I don't know.
I kind of like the Vikings with Kirko, but now he tore his AC.
Yeah, I was thinking of saying the Vikings of Kirk, but now that I don't know. I'll hop on the Lions bandwagon. I don't know. They'll probably. Under my
Listen,
comment, let's shut me
I
off.
have
That's
to
okay.
root for him now though because I've got Gibbs, who our trade actually is like panning out now with Moore and Gibbs. So
Shocker! Isn't
yeah,
who said from day one that was a fair trade? And I got so much trash from that from everyone, like including yourself a little bit. So
I know.
I'm sorry. I'm gonna take. This is me taking my victory lap around that.
Yeah, no digs for DJ Moore and Jahmyr Gibbs. It works.
But I am the worst at trading. I'm the worst. You don't want to trade with me. You know.
Oh my God, no, I don't agree with that. Okay, I do not agree with that.
Call you petty. I'm taking my petty.
There are so many worse trades. We just what was the 1-for-1 we saw that was ridiculous?
Well, we got Dak Prescott for Dalvin Cook. We got Josh
right there.
Monster. Like,
yeah, right there. Like, what are we doing? That's highway robbery. That's OJ speeding away in the white Bronco. But
you had a lot of players play last night, my guy.
I did. I got a little more points out of them than I was supposed to as well.
Yeah, Warren had a nice night for you with 14. That was 4 points. Well, kind of Warren and Hopkins
they switch places, but
flop. But you also
listen,
got
now
a kicker. So
yeah. So I mean, those we see the projections mean absolutely nothing in fantasy football. They can go either way. It's an estimation. But Mortal Lock time while we're talking. I've got the Rams over the Packers. This week sucks. I mean, aside from the games we really talked about, this week sucks. They're all close games.
I'm not picking Matt Stafford's injured hand.
No? I didn't even know that, but I'll stick with it, I guess, because we're horrible on Mortal Lock.
I'm just going to take the Browns over the Cardinals. The Cardinals are starting a rookie quarterback, I think. I don't think Kyler's playing. They trade away Josh Dobbs, so they're playing Clayton Tune.
I wonder how he'll do with Minnesota. That'll be interesting to watch.
Hey, he's now a Lizzo song. He is now the main man on the Minnesota Vikings.
Yeah. Yikes. Oh
I am on one, but I'll take the Brownies.
All right.
They'll get the job done against the Cardinals.
Sounds good. Well, without further ado, that's going to do it for this edition of the Buffalonian Podcast. It's Betting on the Bills. I'm Joe Callie. As usual, I'm joined by Dom Loss. And Dom, how do we always end these, buddy?
Go Bills, baby.
Go Bills.